Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good. We'll open
Thanks
up.
for being here.
Coach, you want to just go ahead and talk about, I guess, Jay's experience playing over in China and coming
Great opportunity for Jay. The Sports Reach group, who's coached by Tom Schubert, and the organization's run by Robbie Spear, a friend of ours from Kentucky. They certainly had a great experience with Alfred Payton and called us and asked if we had a point guard this year. And it worked out as a great opportunity for Jay to travel abroad. Take the basketball part out of it, and just based on going to a different country and all the nuances of that, and to grow in his faith was a great experience for him, and I feel like he benefited from that. We've got a couple other guys that are going on trips later this summer. I think you're aware of Jonathan Stove and Bryce Washington will be headed to New Zealand for 2 weeks at the end of July, first 10 days of August, to participate with an Athletes in Action tour. It'll be the same type situation. Athletes in Action is based out of Xenia, Ohio, and run by Kelly Combs will be their coach, who's a friend of mine, and Coach Hauser's known him a long time, and a great group of guys that they'll be traveling with and ministering with as they travel to New Zealand. And then later in the summer, Scotty Plaisance will go. Coach Hauser's going to take a team, actually, and go over and coach, and I'm not sure exactly all the countries they're going to go to, but he'll be over with Coach Hauser as they travel. And I think they're going to Belgium, Amsterdam, some places over in that area of the world, and we'll play. So all this experience is good for these guys to go out and play. As Jay mentioned, you get better by playing. You get in an uncomfortable situation sometimes. It really helps you down the road. And then the last guy is leaving, staying stateside. We'll be leaving in the morning. Sean Long will be attending the Nike Skills Academy. He'll fly out early tomorrow morning and be in Santa Monica, California through the weekend, and we'll be back Tuesday night. And then when he gets back from that, he'll have about a week, and then he'll go to Colorado Springs in preparation for the Pan American Games, which would be a great feather in his cap if he can make that squad. I believe right now they've got 24 people trying out, 16 collegiate players and 8 professional players. So it'll be a tough team to make, but a great opportunity for Sean to be in front of a lot of people.
For you, how much did Alfred going to China and what his progression that summer do to kind of spearhead you sending Jay to China, Jonathan and Bryce to New Zealand, Scotty overseas? How much did that really kind of set the wheels in motion for that?
It's helped a lot, Travis. The opportunities that presented himself through Alfred, we wanted to do some things for Alfred and Sean back after that season to help their growth. That wasn't our best year here from a record standpoint, but Alfred and Sean made tremendous strides, and I told those guys I want to help them reach their goals, and it started off with us trying to get Alfred in the Chris Paul camp, and we couldn't get him in that camp. And then all of a sudden they called from Sports Reach and said, I hear you've got a point guard. Alfred goes and gets a passport. 2 days later he's on a plane to China, and then if he didn't have the passport, when I called Billy Donovan, he wouldn't have been able to get on with USA Basketball. So just presenting opportunities for those guys, I think special, and that's what we do as coaches. You want to help those guys grow and become the best that they can be in sports and in life.
Have you already seen a difference in Jay?
A little bit, yeah. We've practiced. Today will be our 6th team practice, and we've got most of the players here. And Jay's done a good job working with Sean, trying to get better connected there and feed off each other.
You said that it's not really strictly just basketball that makes this trip beneficial for him. For a guy like Jay to go see the world through basketball, I mean, what does that do for him?
I think it opens up a lot of opportunities. Again, get your passport, able to travel abroad, which a lot of us have done. But as a younger person, that opportunity's not there. And just experience some things. The odds are he may never go back to China. It's just like taking a team to Hawaii to play, or taking a team to Spain, like we did a couple years ago as well, with the whole group going. Certainly helped us when we went to the NCAA tournament the next year. So present opportunities to travel abroad, to be uncomfortable, I think. Again, Jay lost about 6 pounds on the trip. He didn't share that with you. And then going back to Savannah back to Georgia. He spent a week with Mom before he came to summer school, and I think he got a couple of pounds back. But it's a different culture, and I think it makes you a better person. You're just taking the basketball out of it, again, to witness what else is going on around the world. And I think a lot of times we tend to worry about our problems, and just like we tell our team, let's go throw them all in a pile and see which ones you want to pull back out. And you probably take yours in a second. So I think it shows appreciation of life.
You've touched on what it helps for the players. What does it do for the coaching staff when these guys get this type of experience?
Hopefully it'll make our life easier, John, in the future. That's what it's about. We want these guys to grow, to lead, and to learn how to interact with people. Certainly dealing with some media over there as well. It'd be hard to communicate in this situation for me, I'm sure. So I think it's a win-win for these guys, and they come back with a little bit more experience and in a tough situation.
And with stuff like this, are you starting to see Jay want to go the extra mile to be that leader for this team?
Yeah, I think he has always done that, Ron, really. But he knows that we expect more from him. He's got to get better with his free throw shooting, too. And he didn't mention that to you guys. He mentioned left hand and three-pointers, I think, coming off ball screens. But he's got to be a better free throw shooter, too. And his numbers were good while he was there. He was pretty consistent with what he did here. And I think if you go back and look at Alfred and his success, same thing that he did for us. He wasn't able to do on the USA team because he played a role, but he's done the same thing for the Magic, basically stat line, a little bit of everything that he did for us. And Jay certainly proved that he can do that with a new group and with a short practice window. They practice one day and take off to China for 15 days.
Hypothetically speaking, what kind of opportunity would it be for you all to play UCLA this December?
Well, that's going to happen, Dave. It's done. The contract's signed. We're going to be playing UCLA on Tuesday, December the 15th, and then that Friday, December the 18th, we'll be playing in Malibu at Pepperdine. So that part of the schedule, those are contracted games that have been released, or they're being released to you guys now. The final schedule is not released, and we're waiting. Louisiana Tech couldn't get Mike White to answer the phone before he left to Florida, and couldn't get him to greet anything. And Louisiana Tech now has decided that they do want to continue the series, which is one of the oldest running series in our state. So we're looking forward to that, but we're waiting to get a contract from those guys.
Try to call Florida, set something up with the Gators?
No, I wouldn't mind, though. I don't think it's going to be a tough year for the Gators, but Mike will do a good job. He's a good basketball coach.
For the team, you talked about how Spain going over kind of helped build this team chemistry. With a trip to UCLA, Pepperdine, I mean, you're going to be kind of out by yourself for essentially a week. How much can that really help grow this team, even though it's a veteran team, for that week leading kind of right into Sun Belt play?
Well, I think it can be good for us. We're going to play a lot of road games, unfortunately early, because we're having trouble getting dates for the Cajun Dome. And then our conference schedule, we start with 5 or 6 on the road. We're the only team that does that. So our first conference game is going to be December the 3rd at Monroe. So really get off to a quick start, and we'll have to be good on the road. That experience going to California will be a bonding type team or time for our team. Travis, as you mentioned, we're out of exams a week before, so we'll have some time to get better. And then we're going to come back home and we'll play UNO here at home on the 21st before we break for Christmas.
Today would have been the day for Sean if he would have ended up leaving, and now he's instead going to be going to a skills academy tomorrow. What do you think this is going to be like for him watching that and knowing that now he's got to work to get better and maybe improve his stock for next year?
Well, he's excited about working and trying to get better every day. I had a long talk with him yesterday about the mental aspect of it. And he's very gifted. He's matured a lot, and he's continuing to mature. He's had some good workouts for us this summer. He's really watching his body and working with our strength coach, Jason Manikowski, trying to get better from that standpoint, and trying to gain muscle at the same time. He really watches what he eats and wants to slim down, but we got to do it the right way and add some muscle. But he's excited about the opportunity this summer. It's in front of him. He knows this is a big weekend coming up, and hopefully next year he'll be able to get his name called. I feel like he made a wise decision going into it. I don't know that we've really met since all that happened, but it was a situation where the numbers weren't in his favor, and I was glad that he chose to come back and give himself another year to prove himself. And it's ironic, a year ago today I was in New York with Alfred, and with Sean too, because he was at the Skills Academy in New Jersey, and I went over and visited with him. I couldn't attend his workouts, but I did go over and watch him, or talk to him, excuse me, in the lobby a little bit. So exciting time. We'll have our guys over to my house tonight to watch the draft. We're going to practice this afternoon, and everyone will be there, and so it'll be exciting to see.
What can this month, leading into the Pan Am games as well, workouts, really do for Sean mentally? To kind of prove himself that he's an elite big guy and can be there next year.
Just needs to be consistent. I think he needs to run the floor hard every time, do what he's capable of doing, protect the rim. We know he can score. We know he can rebound a basketball, but bring energy, offensive rebound, run the floor, protect the rim. And he's going to be in front of a lot of eyes. And so I think if he can get off to a good start and be consistent, then that'll impress some people at the next level.
What's your first impressions of the incoming group? What do you like about them? What do you think they can kind of contribute this year?
We've got a couple of guys that are not here that we would like to have here, but the ones that are here, Kadavian Evans has done a nice job. He's small. He's got to grow or get stronger. Really can shoot the basketball. He's from a basketball family. His dad's a coach. Jarikus Davis from Jackson Provine's done a really good job. He can score the ball. He's got a gift to do that. He's trying to learn how to play. He had a couple of great practices Tuesday. He wasn't so good. We'll see how he is today. And then our guys are continuing to progress and make strides. We've got a good group of players returning, as you guys talked about earlier with Jay, and we feel like we can make some real progress moving forward.
What do you think that redshirt year did for Scotty? And have you seen him maybe improve since he's gotten?
He has gotten better. Same thing as Sean. He's got to be consistent. Luke, one day he looks lights out, and the next day he'll make a play and then disappear. But he runs. He plays with great energy, and we're counting on him to give us some minutes this year for sure.
Thanks, Coach.